Good morning, everyone. My name is Eldon Michael Santa Maria. This is Soft Skills Group 8. And today we are here with Aaron. So, Aaron is a male counselor. He's registered and licensed with about 3 years of experience in education setting. So, thanks, Aaron, for joining us for today's interview. And my first question is, what can you tell us about mental health issues surrounding teenagers?
Okay, so if let's say mental health issues surrounding teenagers, right? From my understanding, from my perspective, mainly we can see there's three types. Mainly it's depression, anxiety, and stress. And in my opinion, right, I felt most of the time it is due to the external factors. It could be the society, or maybe let's say the families. It's like influence from the outside to within themselves inside over time. So that is how it works around. At times, there are certain words or there are certain ideas that was constantly shared to them, right? Slowly, it shapes them to see things around them in certain perspective. So, for example, why does an individual see things from a negative perspective? It could be maybe self-defeating thoughts, or maybe the feeling of shameful of certain actions. In the long run, right, it could be something influenced from the external factors. So whatever they do, right, they will find a way to defeat themselves. I'll just give you an example. Maybe let's say public speaking, or maybe a presentations. There are certain words uttered wrongly. Actually, that scenario wasn't that awkward or wasn't that bad, but certain individuals, right, they will tend to see like, oh my God, they're laughing at me. Oh my God, they are doing this at me. So what really happens to them, right, is perhaps it's from the experience of the past. Perhaps their friends have made fun of him before. And that, right, slowly condition within themselves, and they believe they believe the experience is going to repeat themselves again. So over time, it will contribute to a higher stress. It will contribute them to think more negatively. And from a small issue, it will slowly develop into a more serious mental health illness. Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
So it's usually these three areas.
Okay.
Okay. Now my name is Shariquan. So from your experience, how do often teenagers open about their mental health issues in school? Like, do they keep quiet or usually they voice out their problems?
Okay, now I can't say for all schools, right? But I pretty much want to stress on the culture in schools. Personally, I have been in few different schools, and I have, from time to time, I have discussed this question. It's quite interesting question, by the way. I've discussed about this topic with counselors from different schools. Now, what I really came across and realized, right, it's pretty much depends on the management. It pretty much depends on the teacher's attitude towards mental health. Now, I'll give you an instance. In my personal experience, right, there was once I was talking about mental health talks, because from time to time I conduct workshop for secondary schools or maybe underprivileged home. When I'm conducting workshop, even the moderator make fun of it. They're like, people like you should go for counseling services. So that, right, actually backfires the whole things. Now, one thing, since I have this opportunity to talk with a few of you here, I want to stress on, right, is for counseling, for mental health works, my personal opinion, right, one of the biggest challenge is taboo towards mental health services. I'll just do a checking with all of you first. Do you understand the word taboo? It is okay.
Yeah.
So I can explain as well. Yeah. So that taboo, right, is the major obstacles in the process. So how often do they open up? If the environment practice a healthy way of seeing mental health services, definitely the group of students, they will open up more. They are willing to talk more. But if, let's say, the environment, especially the educators, they have the mindset of top-down attitudes. I say whatever, then you do whatever lah. That type of mindset, it's not gonna help. That's first thing. Or maybe they are joking about it. Yeah, it's not gonna help as well.
Yeah.
So how often do they open up? Yeah, I guess I pretty much answer. But I want to top up a little. There are no, even though we see there's this trend, but I wouldn't say it's the language. I still pretty much felt it is the culture. Generally, in in English speaking schools, right, we realize that they tend to open up more. Perhaps it could be the culture they are exposed to, maybe the movie that they've seen, maybe the environment within the school, but it is still not all English school is that open. I do see Malay schools, Malay language schools, have a very healthy mental health perspective. Yeah, even Chinese school as well. So it depends on the culture.
I see.
So my name is Ilya, and our group has prepared 4 solutions to tackle these mental health issues that have been going around teenagers, which are talking to adults that they trust, avoid self-isolation, avoid social media, keeping a healthy lifestyle. So which do you think is the best solution and why?
Actually, to me, when I look at the four suggestions you all have there, right, I felt it's pretty good. But personally, I think I would choose the first and the third. Now, if you ask me to choose only one, right, I guess I would say it is the first. But however, right, I felt communication is a very vital part, whereby not only asking them to talk with an adult, but the adult have to learn how to communicate properly as well.
Yeah.
Because at times communications, right, when we ask someone, just go and talk with an adult lah. It's not helping because maybe the adult, they have different mindsets in communications. They felt like they have to give advice. But at times when people want to speak out what is on their chest, right, they just want to speak out. They don't want to be judged. So I'll go for first and third, like I said. The third one is about avoiding social media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the third one is because I think from time to time there are too many negative news on social media. It affects how people see things as well. So if they can go on a social media diet, a social media detox, it really helps them. For example, this is what I realized. If someone is very emotional, or maybe we call it emo, whatever they view, whatever they search, right, is something that is quite emo. So it will only help them to strengthen that perspective. So if they can go on a social media diet, it's great. So talking to adult is another thing, but the adult sometimes has to be trained as well. Yeah, we do have adults who really came into sessions to ask as in like, how can I communicate better with my son or daughters? Yeah, that really happens.
I see.
Okay, my name is Rubiatun Amira. You may call me Ruby. So how important it is to tackle mental health issues surrounding teenagers, especially during a pandemic and everything is done online?
Okay, this is interesting questions as well. Now it's online. I felt that this pandemic has hit us hard, and basically it's a huge transition from online to from the face-to-face to online. Now, I guess I will start off telling you it is not the skill, but the will. Now, actually, a lot of things can be done online as well. Even communications, like what is happening now as well. We are doing this virtual interview in online sessions as well. So, yeah, indeed, during this pandemic time, there is a rise of mental health cases because there are more time spent together. Maybe it's the living environment. Some of them, they are from a lower socioeconomic status. They are in a small house. The smaller the house, maybe the higher the conflict, or maybe someone is trying to focus on the study, but then there's a lot of distractions, younger brothers and sisters playing, maybe fathers is having meetings on the other end. Yeah, so there are more conflict during this time. But again, it is not the skill, but the will. From time to time, right, it depends whether an individual want to reach out to others or not. For example, maybe a question to let everyone ponder is, I want to go back to the question 3 first. Since I mentioned communication is vital, communication help us to air out, help us to to relieve stress in a sense. But how often do we really utilize this online platform to relieve stress in video call manner? Or maybe among your classmates, among your group mates, how often do you guys have a video call to discuss assignments? Because all these things, right? Yeah, really helps. So it is important to tackle mental health issue. It is very, very, very important. Again, it is not the skill, but the will. And it's about stepping out of the comfort zone. It has to be started by somebody, either the educators, either the students. But as long as someone is stepping out of the comfort zone, I believe the whole group will step out of the comfort zone as well. Yeah. So it's important, and everyone has to transit from face-to-face to online, and yeah, do more video calls. Utilize this platform more. It will definitely help.
I see. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you so much. And so for this interview, right, we started out as just an interview, but I think we'll be leaving with such. I think we started with just like question, but I think we'll be leaving with more information. Since what you said just now was actually very informative, like how we should tackle mental health issues is very important. Talking to adults that they trust, and sometimes how people choose to open up, and some teenagers do not open up. And so finally, I would just want to add how important it is that we should all be helping each other, especially during this pandemic. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your very informative presentation just now. It was really very informative for us, especially as we are studying during this online pandemic. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.